Today we're going to talk about the death of modern philosophy. For those who doesn't know about modern philosophy, you can read some books and do some research about what exactly is modern philosophy. This is a pretty deep topic, but in summary, it is the father of modern philosophy is Descartes. He's one of the most important philosopher for the last 400 years. He's the father of modern philosophy, as everybody knows it in the philosophy world. The reason why he's extremely famous is just one simple sentence. That sentence is very, very simple. I think, therefore I am. Very, very simple sentence, but it solved so much. Philosophy first started as a way to secure the foundation. Back then, science and philosophy goes hand in hand. A lot of scientists are also philosophers at that time. One thing we always think about how philosophy and science are intertwined in a sense is because, think about it, how do you know we're not living in a simulated universe? How do you know if we're not living in somebody else's dream? How do you know if any of this exists? All this could be simulated. It could be in video game. Just very advanced alien video game running a data center. We don't know that. How can we be sure of knowledge and science without knowing anything is what it is? Right? How can you prove something is really something? How can you prove that we're not living in a dream? How can you prove that? You cannot prove that. It's nearly impossible to prove that. We have tried it. Different philosophers tried it for hundreds, if not thousands of years. You cannot prove something to be certainty because there is so many other possibilities. But one thing does exist for absolute certainty, and that is I exist. Why mean I? I don't even mean my arm, my body. Is that my consciousness? I, the thankful creature, the consciousness, exists for a fact. You might say, this could all be a video game or simulated in a dream. You are not real. This is fake. Everything is fake. But just because I think, therefore I am, I exist in that simulated universe or that dream. I exist. I, conscious existence, exist. I exist. I cannot make sure other people exist, right? If I were to have a daughter one day, let's say, I don't know if she actually exists. She could be simulated. I don't know if she's, this robot inside her that's crying, that is, creating, that eating, right? I don't know that. She can tell me, hey, I think, therefore I am. I exist. How can I prove that? I mean, I don't know. She could just be saying that, right? But one thing you do know for certain is no matter if what's real or not, you, the consciousness, exist. You have the free will of thought. That very thing is what the beginning and the end and the death of modern philosophy. Later I will talk about system philosophy. Technically, I think, therefore I am is a system philosophy. A system philosophy of what? System philosophy of self-consciousness, of I. That very concept, this one sentence, is possibly the shortest, most simplified system philosophy out there. You don't need anything else to define yourself. When you're asleep, you're not conscious. So there's no I. But when you're conscious, and for you exist right now at that moment, you exist. You're absolutely, no matter what. Even if you're a dream, you exist because you think. That's one thing. That dream could be sentient because you're existing in that dream. Even if you're in a data center being computed out, none of it are real, all of it digits, right? One thing you know for sure is that you are real. Your consciousness is real. You exist. Because of Descartes. Thanks to him, right? At that time was a groundbreaking thing. Such a simple thing, but he was the first one that obviously declared it, right? He made it mainstream. You know, he took the credit, you know, obviously, right? So, yeah, the system philosophy of self-existence. You can always know. I will have all these. I do have a little bit of note for every video sessions, because these topics do get a little bit of it gets deeper and deeper. So I will have all the notes in the video description for you to take a look at. I will read some book on modern philosophy so that you know exactly deep down what it is. It's pretty straightforward. It's philosophy. It's not system philosophy. It's very. Once you read a book, you pretty much know mostly, the concept-wise what it is. So, why is it the death of modern philosophy? It's because Descartes, who created I think therefore I am 370 years ago. Since then, there is no more part two. There's no more progression to it. Philosophy have been stuck on I think therefore I am. They cannot step it. I will give a really good vision. Try to visualize this. Imagine you are in space, right? And underneath you there's a spot of light, and underneath your feet there's grass. But everything else beyond that is dark, is full of void. Because Descartes successfully defined that you exist, your consciousness exists. But you cannot define anything else. It's dark, it's empty, with only yourself in it. That image, that vision of me being there traps me. I don't want to be living in a world where I only know that I exist. I cannot make sure everything else exists. And that's only I know that existence of my self-consciousness. I don't even know who I am. That's part of the reason why system philosophy was created, is to go beyond that bubble of self-consciousness, to understand what is the meaning of life, what are you? Try to understand that consciousness, and to try to open up the entire universe, to understand the entire universe. That is the purpose of system philosophy, is to go beyond the death, the grave, the void of that was left behind by modern philosophy. We're going, the very next video is going to be talking about, we have the death of modern philosophy. Then we have the start and the origin of system philosophy. The next and final chapter to modern philosophy is technically a continuation of modern philosophy. But because it's so brand new, it's like iPhone was revolutionary. And in the future, you might have, I don't know, iMind or something like that, iChip that's inserted into it. That's the next breakthrough. It's completely different. So, yeah, brand new. We're going to dive deep into this universe, right? We dig our grave, right, with modern philosophy, but we have to break through from that coffin where we are reaching. We're reaching towards the heaven that is system philosophy.